Give me Dan Campbell on the field with me. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Don't put Dan Campbell on my sideline. I don't know. I don't know the emotional control of this coach. I mean, every single time? Does it have to be every single time? The 4th and 1, when you're on the 31-yard line going out, that was obvious to me. I mean, this can't happen. I mean, this guy wants to go for it even now, and they get stopped right here and basically give Green Bay a touchdown because all they got to go is like 29 yards, and they score a touchdown here, and it's a different game. So you wouldn't have been in this situation maybe if you punt it and you let your defense play against a quarterback that has the tendency to throw to the other team also. This is every single time? Why does it have to be every single time? No, let me say something here, because Dan Campbell came into this league talking about being kicked down and biting on ankles and chewing on kneecaps. Well, there's no more, and let me tell you, Detroit Lion fans, there's no more ankles and kneecaps to bite. You're on top. Start playing like it and start coaching like it, because sometimes you got to know when to be in a game to where let the other team mess up because I know I'm better, because it's going to give us a better chance to win. There are those situations that I don't think Dan Campbell knows right now that he still has to learn. And I have been watching him this entire season based on the way last season ended. Okay, did he learn in the offseason? Maybe he's a little less emotional. He is not. He's the same player. And this could come back to bite him.
Hey, Tedy Bruschi, you're goddamn right we're on top. So you want to see us start playing like it and coaching like it? Well, they already are. Because that's how they coached and played to get on top. And that's how they're going to coach and play to stay on top. Scared money don't make no money. So when I hear you talking about, oh, they need to learn how to do this, or you need to learn how to do that, what they're doing is what got them there. What they're doing is what has them at 12-1 in the NFL. What they're doing is the reason they are the best team in the league right now. So don't question him. I understand you know more football than me. You're a great middle linebacker. You won Super Bowls. But there's a reason we're sitting doing the same thing right now. Because you obviously don't have the chops to make it as an NFL coach like Dan Campbell does and be 12-1 on a season and have one of the best records in the NFL the past 3 years. So I don't want to hear this type of shit. I don't want to hear this, oh, holier than thou take from Tedy Bruschi about, oh, this is how winners play. This is how you got to do it when you're a winner. However Dan Campbell does it is how winners do it, because he wins. Period. So I don't want to hear about, oh, this is how you got to do it. There are more ankles out there. There are more kneecaps out there. Every single time someone lines up on the other side of the field, you got to play like you want to take their fucking soul. And how do you take their soul in the game of football? You don't give them the goddamn ball back with 30 seconds left to tie the game and then go into overtime and win like the fucking Jets did. So I don't want to hear about that shit. What did Dan Campbell do? He went out there and he won the fucking game. And you say, oh, but you got to give it back to the guy and let them play offense because maybe he'll throw you an interception. Well, you know what happened when they went for it on 4th down? They got it over 75% of the time. I'm pretty sure, fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure Jordan Love doesn't throw an interception over 75% of the time he drops back to throw a pass. So don't hit me with that bullshit. The game is in front of you. You take it. And Dan Campbell believes that getting 1 yard is easier than getting an interception off of Jordan Love, and I agree with him. So just take that bullshit somewhere else, man. That's lazy, man. That's a lazy take. And you're better than that, Tedy Bruschi. You are. You know ball. You've won Super Bowls. Be better.
It's just crazy to me. Like, people are allowed to, they're able to get so passionate and worked up about it, like Bruschi, because they won the game. Like, you don't have anything to stand on, because ultimately at the end of the day, the Detroit Lions won the game. And it wasn't on any type of technicality, wasn't on any type of penalty, wasn't on any type of fluke. They called the play. Jared did stumble, but it was still executed like to perfection. Does everybody going up to the advanced analytics? We said it last week. When you look at these graphs for winning percentage or winning odds, probability to win rate, and it's fucking shaking like a freaking out route drawn by a guy I can't say.
Like a Ben Luigi's Mansion.
I was gonna say a person, but he just recently passed away. But regardless, they change like that because they're wrong. And for the other nerds, the EPA people, expected points on average, I fucking hate stats like that.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
I fucking hate expected points on average. Doesn't take into account that you have Penei Sewell at right tackle. It doesn't take into the fact that you have Kevin Zeitler at right guard. It doesn't take the fact that you have David Montgomery and running back in that position. EPA does not matter when you have a Penne. It just doesn't. It's different. Every situation doesn't matter. And also to take the fact, like, hey, maybe that defensive tackle that game, maybe that defensive end all game is getting their fucking ass kicked. Maybe in that final drive, they're getting their ass kicked. And the players going over to the coach and say, hey, this guy's, he's fucking out of breath. Penne is fucking laying it on him. Kevin's like, yeah, we can get a coach. It's not, you want him on the field with you, yes, because Dan Campbell's an absolute dog. But these guys like him on the sideline too. They love when you give them the opportunity to win the game like that. Jared Goff said it in the post-game presser. Hey, we love when JG or Dan Campbell gives us the opportunity to win the game like that. You want the ball in your offense's hands to execute like that. There's just no grounds to stand on when they won the game. And speaking of winning games, they're on an 11-game win streak and they've only lost one game in the entirety of the season. It blows my mind. People have to like speak on it passionately and try to rip this guy. It doesn't make any sense.
You got nothing to stand on. Your soapbox is falling apart. You can keep yelling at the cloud if you want, but it's not going anywhere. Like, this is the NFL now. Having the ball is more important than not having the ball. Like, what do you have to get through to you to understand that? It's easier to win a game if you have the ball. You dictate what happens in a football game if you have the ball. So if you're telling me I either have to get 1 yard or I have to have a successful punt without a penalty, a muff, or anything like that, make sure we cover that punt and doesn't set them up in good coverage, stop them multiple times on defense, and then still hope that they don't knock in a miraculous field goal, or I get 1 yard, I'm going to try to get that 1 yard. Because, again, I don't give a shit about your expected win percentages.
Yeah, dude.
Because when you have the ball and there's 2 seconds left on the clock and you kick a field goal to win, it's 100% every time.
So I hate a lot of those advanced analytics when there's so much context to the situations. It's like the Cowboys last year. All right, advanced analytics will point to Dak as MVP and them as a Super Bowl favorite. Then you go and look at their fucking schedule and who they beat. It's a bunch of fucking nobodies, a bunch of fucking cupcakes. So then they hit the playoffs and they're facing another team above 500 and they get their fucking asses kicked at home and everyone's shocked by it.
You are trash!
No. Not even look at the context of everything surrounding it. It's just like advanced analytics don't translate to everything.
Nope.
If I have Penei Sewell and Kevin Zeitler and Dave Montgomery and I need 1 yard, god damn it, I'm running that fucking football right up the gut for that 1 yard.
100%. Would I rather get 1 yard or make sure I play perfect defense and try to hold them out of field goal range? Like, this is a league where you get yards pretty easily now, and with kickers hitting 60-yard kicks, you have to stop the Packers from getting 30 yards or gain 1 yard yourself?
That's a great point, Spencer. And I want to say just that scenario, if it played itself out too, we've seen those late bullshit pass interference calls that helps those kickers get into field goal position. And Tedy Bruschi, he kept saying if this didn't work, if this didn't work. Teddy, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It did.
This and is just continued to.
Exactly. So that just pisses me off. I mean, obviously it's just speculation on the show, and he had to maybe do this take. I don't know. Teddy's a smart guy. So and he seems like a run through the wall kind of guy for your coach. That's what's so surprising about Tedy Bruschi being the one to come out and say this.
And our defense is dropping like flies. You had 13 guys missing IR from the defense alone. You lost Aleem McNeil throughout the game. At that point, Brian Branch had gone out the game. In a secondary situation, we're going to need your best 2 safeties out there to defend Jordan Love, who, let's be real about it, was kind of killing us in that second half. And some of it was a little bit the interception, some of it was going for on that 4th down. But, no, I don't want them in that situation.
No.
Let's keep those guys healthy. I don't have my best guys out there. I don't have my veteran guys out there. I don't want to be in that situation. And they won the fucking game. That's all that matters. They won the fucking game. If Dan Campbell doesn't go for a 4th down twice throughout that game, Spinny, they lose 14 points.
That's exactly what it is. It is as simple as that for Tedy Bruschi and for Rob Parker and whoever has a tough time agreeing with what he does or believing that it's a possibility. Would you rather simply put it like this? Would you rather look at the best offensive line in football and the best running back room in football and say, I need 1 yard out of you? Or would you rather look at a defense that has 13 players on IR and you lost your best defensive player in that game in Aleem McNeil and say, hey, you guys need to keep them out of field goal range? Which one is easier or more easier to see accomplished? I am trusting the best offensive line in football and the best running back in room in football to get 1 yard every single time, 10 times out of 10. So yes, every single time I would go for it too.
And that's the way they've done football for the past 3 years now. That's the way.
And it's worked.
It wasn't out of. I thought the first season it was out of desperation. I thought then it wasn't like he was saying the ankle biting, the kneecap biting. No, it's just the way of life. This is how we're going to function as a football organization going forward. We're going to be the aggressor. We're going to be the bully. It's like when Dan Campbell said they finally became, I guess, a relevant football team. It's like, well, now you're kind of hunted. And Dan Campbell said, you know what? We're going to be on that porch waiting for you. You know, you come through, say you want that smoke, we'll be on the porch waiting for you.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. Nick, you want to say something?
No, I was going to.
Hitting a drop?
Yeah, that was some good shit right there.
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes.
I will
Straight
beat
up.
your ass.
Thanks.
Straight up. And yes, the Lions did spot them some points. I'm not going to pretend like Jordan Love wasn't carving you up the second half of the game. You guys can't pretend like he wasn't carving you up the second half of the game. It's part of the reason Dan Campbell went for it.
When you have 13 players on IR and you lose your best defensive tackle mid-game, your guys are going to be a little tired. So I trust my team that doesn't have 13 players. They're the side of the ball that doesn't have 13 players on IR to go get you a yard. I do. I call me crazy, I guess.